Live from New York City, it's the Wendy Williams Show. Today, it's a hot Monday, and we're kicking off the week with a supersized dose of the juiciest hot topics. Plus, Holly Scoop's Diana Madison brings us the inside scoop on Will Smith's shocking admissions. And we've got more chances for you to win big in our grand fantasy giveaway. Now, here's Wendy!
Good. Here we go again. Hi. Thank you. My co-host, my studio audience. Is it too much to say cold? Let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. Happiest place on earth. Hi, I love you more. Hope you had a nice weekend. Look, they're just happy to be inside because it's 0 degrees outside in New York, and I'm not complaining because Boston, I feel your pain. We could have the snow along with the 0 degrees, but it is record-breakingly cold here in New York, and for the first time in my life, like, you know, I talk about, 50, and sometimes things hurt, but I never had a knee situation. And this morning I woke up, I had a knee situation. I said, oh God. I need a pair of flats and some slacks. Push me out there, let me do the show. I gotta come back home in ice or heat, I don't know. Anyway, it could be worse. So I had a terrific weekend. I went out and partied a few times, but Friday night, Fashion Week and All-Star Weekend and everything in the greatest city in the world, so you know everybody was in the streets. Michael Jordan had his Jordan brand 30th anniversary party on Friday night. And, everybody was there from, let's see, Jordan Sparks, the model Michelle Iman. What's her name? Chanel Iman, beautiful girl, sorry, Chanel. Rosario Dawson, Queen Latifah, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Prince was the big performer. And I have to say, so I'm in the party, I'm minding my own business. I get a tap on the shoulder. Prince would like to see you. Okay. I had to go to the bathroom anyway, so, I walked through and went to see Prince. He said, hey, I said, hey. He didn't wear the afro. He had, well, this on his head. And he hadn't performed yet. And so then they tell me, Prince has a couch he wants you to sit on stage. Okay, so mind you, there's 2 couches. One, Tamron Hall, Tamron, and her girlfriend were there. And then it was me and him, my husband. And so we're sitting. Next thing you know, Prince comes out in a gold lame suit. And a big black babushka covering his fro, and he had his guitar, and he loves to be surrounded by women. So, his band, all girls, the drummer, the keyboardist, everybody drummers. So we're sitting on the stage, but off to the side. There were speakers in the way and whatnot. Prince was the star of the show, but we're sitting on the stage, we're having our drinks, we're digging Prince. He's doing all music that we know, Little Red, all that. So then I catch the Holy Ghost. And I didn't just want to sit in the couch, I wanted to dance with Prince. So look. Now mind you, I got up and I walk better after a few drinks. So I wasn't tripping or anything. I got up and I, walked over to the speaker area and I'm starting, woo, woo! Look. Prince shouted me out. I danced for like 5 songs. I have to tell you, and you know what? I left after that because once you've danced, the only background dancer for Prince, you drop the mic and go back to Jersey. Such a good time. Such a wonderful, wonderful, magical night. And shout out to you, Stephen Hill. I went to the club the next night, Saturday night, and he's the king of BET. And Deborah Lee, there were a lot of people there. On Saturday night, Puffy was on stage, Fabulous performed, and it was just a wonderful weekend. You know, you don't do that a lot when you get older, but when you do it, you gotta do it to death. Needless to say, I got a lot of sleeping done yesterday. I was in and out of watching the big Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary event. But it was long too. Like, people were complaining because it was 3.5 hours, but so many celebrities that Saturday Night Live has turned out, they had to make room for everyone. Some really entertaining stuff that I saw, but everyone's talking about Eddie Murphy and how weird you are, Eddie. Eddie. What has happened to your flight? If you didn't want to be there, all you had to do is say you missed the flight or say you have a cold. But to go there and stink up the joint was really, really unbecoming. I don't know, clap if you think he stunk it up. Right? You know, I get it. Out of all the stars that SNL has turned out, Eddie Murphy is probably the biggest. The biggest. Yeah, he returned to the show for the first time in 32 years. His appearance only lasted for 73 seconds after Chris Rock, you know, extolled his virtues. You know, Chris Rock introduced him, and Chris is like, you know, oh my gosh, Eddie's the best, he's so funny. All this buildup for Eddie to come on and act like he didn't want to be. Look.
And I'm really happy that so many people here that value the stuff that I did 35 years ago on this show. It really makes me really happy. It's a blessing to be part of this show. I will always love this show. And let's keep on. Let's have some more show. Let's have a big round of applause to everybody. I thought you guys were gonna, right there, you guys were gonna do the, no? Well, let's do it again. Well, you know, this has been a hell of a night.
I don't know. I just figure, you know, he might be tired of those particular characters, but if you accept the invitation to come back to TV, to go on the very show that made you famous, it would seem to me that you just would be, I don't know, a little bit more jovial. I mean, I guess maybe he and Lorne Michaels had a bad falling out, and now they're back in good graces, but Eddie probably doesn't, you know, the creator of the show, probably doesn't want to give up too much. But you weren't there for Lorne, you were there for us, Eddie. Like, no jokes, really? Not even the laugh, you know, not even the laugh or a Gumby or nothing. Anyway, nice job, SNL. You too, Eddie. I haven't been watching any of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. My boys do that for me, so you know, because I don't have time. I'm busy on Sunday nights, but thank you very much for informing me of what was about to go down. Did you watch last night, Atlanta? Okay, last night was the episode we've all been waiting for, which is why I got a special phone call for it. It's the episode where Apollo's supposed to be going to prison, but he surprised Phaedra at her home instead of reporting to prison. She's in the garage with her assistant or somebody, minding their own business, and watch how Apollo just look.
I might leave you with nothing because I built this whole house. Since you want to talk, you want to talk to me? This is my.
Okay.
I told you stop playing with me.
You're acting crazy, not me. Please, go away from me with this.
Okay.
Go away from me. Stop it, Apollo. I don't want to hear what you got to say. Stop it.
Listen to me for 1 second. Do not go, please.
Okay. I mean, bravo, thank you for airing this footage because it was quite entertaining to all of us sitting at home minding our own business. Apollo is a ticking time bomb. And goodness only knows what he would have done if the cameras weren't rolling and that friend wasn't there. Right? I mean, he is going to prison for 8 years. His wife hasn't been there supporting him, but you know, you don't just back off of supporting somebody because of prison. Usually, there's a whole lot more to the backstory, which is why you want a divorce when they go to prison. In the meantime, he spent quality time with his sons, and Mr. President and the Vice President, and he told the Vice President, the older one, he told the older one that Daddy's going to prison and the police are gonna shoot him. The little boy busted out in hysterics. Like, who talks to their kids like this? Crazy? I mean, you're really doing a number. I was scared, and I'm in Jersey, minding my own business. This reality was just a little too real for me. It was just a little too real. And Phaedra, don't think for a moment that we don't understand exactly who you knew you were marrying the day you married him. And I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying, you're lucky that he has not said anything about he's going to prison, but you're still free. I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying, doesn't a wife know her husband? And what he's doing? Generally speaking. Pull up to the house with a new BMW. In the meantime, you got only a Bravo check, and she's not gonna think he's up to his old ways. All right, let's move along. So Fashion Week has come and gone. Kanye debuted his Adidas collection at New York Fashion Week. Sidebar, no one in my house likes the sneakers, but I like them. I like them. The gray ones, the little floppy top. Do we have a picture of them? Oh, okay. We'll take your time. We've got a moment. At the fashion show, it was North that stole the show by throwing a temper tantrum while sitting in the front row. Beyonce was seen shading North. Look. Anna Wintour is leaning away like, oh my God. At one point, we have a picture where Jay-Z, look at Jay looking, look. Russell Simmons is minding his own business. And what's Puffy doing? Puffy's looking at his feet. All I'm saying is, okay, so then Kim had to get up. By the way, this is one of his coats, one of the Adidas coats that Kanye's doing. People seem to really like this. Kim had it on, pairing it with heels. Anyway, she goes to the back to calm the child down, which, you know, as a busy mom, she could very well have had some nanny come out there and take the baby. So it was nice to see she was hands-on with that. And then she came back out with the little girl, and the little girl proceeded to carry on again. Now see, every mom doesn't like all kids. You know, like, if this was me, I'd be pissed. Like, why do you even have this child here? And I know Jay-Z and... Look. I know that Jay-Z and Beyonce take that baby North, or their child out a lot also, you know, to adult places. But we've never seen Blue Ivy spazzing out. I don't know, maybe she's I don't know. All I know is that, you know, I can barely tolerate it when kids cry on a plane. But I do, mom to mom. But I don't like kids in restaurants. Unless it says Chuck E. Cheese on the, like, I don't like kids at weddings. I don't like kids. I think that kids have their place over there. That's all. In the meantime, Kylie Jenner walked in the show because the model one, Kendall, was not available. She has some sort of exclusive contract to walk in Alexander Wang, and only Alexander Wang. Kim Ye went to Alexander Wang's fashion show too. They bought North and she turned it out again. No, this is a, Now look. Look. Not only is she turning it out, but you know when your kids were little and you'd have them in your lap, but they'd start that slide off thing? She's doing the slide off. Oh, but you can see she's teething, so you know what that's all about. Still, all the more reason to stay home. Pam Anderson just filed for divorce for the third time from her husband, Rick Solomon. I never realized how big her forehead was. I got a big one, so big can call big. I pull my wig down. I cheated a little bit, you know, for you all. Wow. So look, so that's Rick Solomon. Remember, he did the sex tape with Paris Hilton, where they were wearing those night vision goggles. Yes. Okay. They first got married in 2007, but it only lasted for 2 months. With eyes like this, you can imagine why. Then they remarried a year later, or excuse me, they remarried last year, but that only lasted for 6 months. Pam filed for divorce again. Then they got back together 1 week later, and Pam just filed for divorce again. Now see, you know, in our morning meeting, you know, it was being tossed around like, why do you think that they marry and divorce so much? I hate to be judgmental, but I say there are a lot of people, including I think them, who don't take marriage seriously. Like, you know I die for crinoline. Thank you for turning it out. Ah! So cute. So anyway, but I said, I don't think that they're taking marriage seriously. Now, I do believe in divorce. That's what divorce is there for. But I also don't believe that you play around with either you're married or you're divorced. You know, separation, it's a muddy area. But either you're separated for the purpose of getting back together or you're separating for the purpose of divorcing. I just feel like they are probably not the only ones who don't take marriage seriously anymore. And so they're back to being married again. I must say, though, Pam, the answer lies within, like the Magic 8 Ball says. The reason I think that things might go from bad to worse so many times in your relationship is because you're now sober, according to what you put out there, and Rick is not. See? To me, that can't work. Like, that just doesn't work. You know, she's asking for spousal support. Really? Why does he owe you spousal support? I don't think he owes her spousal support. They have no children together. They've only been married for a total of, 5 minutes in 3 times being married. Like, and she's no spring chicken, but certainly the faster she divorces him, the faster she can get out there and move on with her life. And by the way, so we're talking about wedding gifts in the morning meeting. Please don't judge me. I'll do what you want. They're both 47 years old. It was asked of me, what would I get them for a wedding gift? I said nothing. I don't care whether you're a nurse marrying, the sanitation man. At 47 years old, don't ask me for a wedding gift, okay? As a matter of fact, I made a new rule in my head. Now, you can go with it or not. 35 and under, that's a wedding gift. Yes, I'm not giving grown people a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I getting you a toaster or registering you at Williams-Sonoma? You're grown. It's not my fault you didn't get married when you were 31 or 33 or something. I don't know. It's not about being cheap. It's about being practical. Clap if you're with me. Clap if you're not. Just saying. All right, let's talk about Taylor Swift. Well, Taylor Swift is threatening to sue her childhood guitar teacher. Well, now look, he owns this website called ITaughtTaylorSwift.com. But he did teach her, and we know she plays that guitar. She trots it around town. She does acoustics with it, There she is, the damn guitar. Anyway, he's claiming that her lawyers are, bullying him and demanding that he take the website down, but he's refusing. Okay, so we did some research, and we found out Taylor has acknowledged her former guitar teacher before, gave him a copy of the platinum plaque that her first album won, also bought him a $5,000 guitar. This is when she first got on. Now, she's several albums deep into the music game now, but she doesn't owe him anything more. And he should not be using her name as, the billboard of his website. Maybe it should be called, if he wants all the guitar money in his town and surrounding areas, maybe, Mr. Smith's guitar, lessons. And then when you open up the page, that's where you see pictures of him and Taylor. Fan out that way. But I also think that, there's a better way of handling Mr. Smith, the small town guitar teacher, than having your Hollywood lawyers bully him. Like, if you give him a couple of dollars, I bet you he'd change the name and make him sign some court documents and then have an agreement as to how much of your likeness he can use. Because, Taylor, your story is a part of his story. People don't get famous on their own. They've got a lot of help. And, I mean, if that happened to me, I would be upset that you're using my name as part of your .com, but I certainly would make a telephone call to you and there'd be some sort of business transaction that now you take my name down, but you can use, my likeness when they open it up, because certainly, Mr. Smith, you did teach me guitar, and I love you for that, but back up. Take this money. Yeah. I just wish that they would lock up Justin Bieber. Just quickly, he's so small, all you have to do is put him in your pocket and take him someplace and, Oh, cute though, right? He is cute. Oh, damn it. Anyway, Justin says that he can't go to court, and you won't believe why. He says because it's too expensive. Well, he's claiming that, first of all, he has to go to court because one of his bodyguards was sicked on a photographer, allegedly. And and Justin was the one who allegedly sicked the bodyguard, or the photographer. I guess the photographer was bothering Justin. Justin didn't want to be photographed. So the security guard, Justin's, went over to the guy and flashes, allegedly, you know, a burner. A gun, flashed a gun. You know, like, so apparently there's a lawsuit going on. Everybody has to go to court. Justin's claiming that it'll cost him $68,000 to fly himself and his entourage to Miami by his private jet. Now, mind you, he bought this private jet for himself on New Year's Day as a Happy New Year. But my thing is that if you're going to buy a jet, then you should always be ready to fuel up. That's like buying a gigantic house and not having enough money for the upkeep. You know what I mean? It's like, you are so ghetto. Why don't you, you're just ghetto. And allegedly, he made a request to the Miami court system that he wants to Skype in. Excuse me, Skype is for your grandmother. Skype is when you're touring and you want to speak to your kids. Skype is not for the long arm of the law, young man. So, the judge, you know what you should do? Threaten to fine him the $68,000 if he doesn't buy himself a ticket on JetBlue and get his tail in Miami. Right? He's still so cute.